destination, but you never know where you're going to end up, and it's a very interesting story. So let's get into it.
Okay, so where do we start?
Well, Neil was introduced to me through another friend that I was working with, and this often happens word of mouth. People get a success, they realise what they're capable of, and then they want to share it with other people, which is why now I'm sharing all this with other people. Neil came to me and I did a consultation with him to find out exactly where he wanted to go. I call it a sat-nav mentoring session. When you go on a journey, any journey, using the metaphor of a car journey, you want to go somewhere, but the system wants to know where you are, otherwise it doesn't know how to set the route. So I asked Neil what he wanted to achieve, what his outcomes were, and then where he is today on that journey.
Do you actually find that people actually know where they want to be going? Do they know how to set the sat nav in that initial is it a consultation, would you call it, or a meeting?
Yes, it's a consultation. I have specific questions, but I let people talk. I give them an opportunity to tell their stories. Most people want to tell their stories, and the consultation is to let them get off their chest.
So it's them doing a lot of the talking in that initial meeting.
I ask questions. I think the quality of your questions dictates the direction of any conversation, which is a good takeaway for our listeners. That if you ask good questions, you'll get good answers, and keeping people on the subject, because a lot of people take side roads. Sometimes in life you can get stuck in a side road. I call it's like writing a book. So you have the main theme of your life, and then you have subplots. Quite a lot of people, maybe the listeners, are stuck in subplots.
Do they know that?
Maybe not at the time, but then your life stagnates. And if you're stuck in stagnation, if you're in a rut, then you need to get out of the rut, because a rut is like a grave sometimes with the ends kicked out. And there's no energy in a rut. There's no growth in a rut. So with the consultation, I asked specific questions, and Neil was particularly good, actually. Some people are, some people aren't, but Neil was a very switched on young man, very focused, as we'll discuss as we go through this, where his focus was. But he wanted assistance, he wanted professional support. And what I do is I give them that, and I give them what's called situational support as well, so that when the proverbial hits the fan and you don't know what to do, I can be devil's advocate and come in and give another opinion.
Can I ask, why did he feel that he needed professional support? What was it that brought him to you in the first place?
Well, as I say, I was working with a friend of his, and he was in the golf industry, doing biotech in golf, and I worked with this other chap. His game massively improved with the mental and emotional coaching that I was offering, and this other chap called Tom said to Neil, go and have a chat with Mike, see what he can do for you. So he came along very open-minded, and I always say that I'm not right, I'm going to just offer this information for your consideration, and if you want to go down the path, start a new journey, then let's get started.
So what were the main points then that came out of this meeting? Where did you decide what were you going to focus on?
I asked him the 3 questions that I ask anybody, and the listeners can possibly do this in their head, or when they've finished the podcast, maybe go away and answer these 3 questions for themselves. And the 3 questions are this: what did Neil want to have in his life? What did he want to have that he's currently not got? And that can be something tangible or something metaphysical. In other words, it could be a personality that he wants to have, or it could be an object that he wants to have. It could be a qualification that he wants to have, a mindset, a skill set. It could be that he wants to have a new car or a holiday. It could be absolutely anything. You can answer that in your own way. And I asked him to make a list. The second question is, what did he want to do? What actions did he want to be doing that he's not currently doing? And sometimes to do something, you've got to have something. So that is a progression of that question. So in the past, I wanted to do more corporate work. So I had to have corporate qualifications. So when you know you want to do something, it then makes you realise what you need to have to do it. And then the third question is, what do you want to be? And be is an abbreviation of become. So what do you want to become? What's your legacy? And again, to be something, you've got to do something and you've got to have something. So the 3 questions are very cleverly designed to unpack what you need to have, be and do to get to where you want to go. And he went away and did that. And I give people a week to do that, and then we have another conversation. But I tell them also that that's something they should do for the rest of their life.